What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to a new episode of Tune Check Podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Cris. It's good to be back. Took a little break just to get some things in order, but also I was just really trying to enjoy the summer as much as I can, to be honest. I hope you guys are doing the same. I hope the summer's been great to y'all. This episode is pretty much just a recap. I wanted to do some album reviews, but I'm still going through a couple albums, to be honest. But like I said, it's just a recap, so I just got a bunch of news for y'all, things that's been happening within the past couple months and recently. Mostly just like really the important things, like the things that have people talking about like crazy. And some of the stuff that I find interesting, I do talk about things that I want to talk about, obviously, because it's my podcast, so I could do whatever I want. But before I jump into this, like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, show some love. But with that being said, let's just jump straight into this episode. So I'm gonna start off first with just two artists that are just out here just breaking records. First we got SZA. She got her third diamond single with Good Days. That song is a banger. I love that song. It's one of my favorite SZA tracks. So shout out to her. To be honest, I'm surprised she only has three diamond singles considering how big she is and how big she's gotten, within the past couple years. At least she's getting some of her flowers, so that's fire. Next, you got Cardi B, first female rapper to score four diamond singles. She even became the new face of Old Navy. So shout out to Cardi. She's really out here just making moves, making money moves just like she says. Four diamond singles and the first female rapper to do that is fire. People always want to hate on Cardi, always think that like she's not like a good artist, a good rapper, but look, she's out here doing like really big moves and everybody's just hating, just slacking on her. It's crazy, but shout out to her for just putting herself on like that. So now let's get into our album releases. This episode might be a little short, to be honest, because I don't got no album reviews. But first, we got Victoria Monet. She's dropping Frequency of Love. Comes out October 2nd, 2026. Definitely looking forward to that. She's an amazing artist, amazing dancer. She can do anything. Her songwriting is amazing. She has such an amazing voice. I feel like it's a good time for her to drop a new album. I feel like it's very, it's needed. And I'm just excited to see like who she's gonna feature, like, what the album's really gonna be about. Like, obviously, like the title says Frequency of Love, but it's just exciting to just like really think about like how she's gonna come on this album. Then next we got Rosama. I love Rosama. I think he's one of my favorite artists right now, to be honest. Orange Tape gets played constantly. Then a compilation album that he dropped with Big X and their group, fire. But he's dropping My Forte on 9/11. This is something that I'm looking forward to. I'm really excited for this one. Definitely can't wait to hear this. But aside from that, Big X also announced an album on the way. I saw it on social media. He said, they said Big X fell off. I don't think anybody really said that, but it is what it is. But he didn't give us a release date, so I'm guessing it's probably coming out next year. Then you got Megan Thee Stallion. She announced Act 3 is coming soon. She was on the In My Opinion podcast as well and revealed that she's still working on her album title and that she's going to bring back her alter ego, Tina Snow. I saw a lot of people really excited for that. So, amid her announcing her album, there was also a comment she made about how the internet made it easy for people to get famous with terrible music. And there was like a couple people in the comments on multiple like social media posts and stuff, really just coming at her and saying, oh, she's one of them. But I feel like that's Cat because she genuinely makes like good music. In my opinion, I feel like she could really rap. Her last album was fire. And then she has like a lot of hits on under her belt too that aren't really just, like TikTok songs or that are definitely better than most of the artists that we got out right now that's coming out. Like to me, the first person I thought about when I heard that was Ice Spice. Like, you know what I mean? Like the internet made her famous. Her music isn't that good, but that's just my opinion. And then there's a couple other artists too that, I can mention right now, but I'm not about to do that. I feel like the internet really does play a role in a lot of stuff now, especially all these social media platforms that we have. I feel like that's really what most labels care about currently. Like they want, a track that's, like trending or that's going to be trendy or that's going to trend on social media, like mostly specifically TikTok. If artists mostly makes TikTok songs, they just need like a 30-second, only like a couple seconds of the song has to be good just to make a clip out of it. You feel me? But then when they decide to drop like more work and other songs, it's not gonna sound as good. But the next artist that's releasing new music is Nems. He's dropping Locked In on September 4th. I'm excited for this one. I love Nems. I think he's one of my favorite UK rappers. Like his last album was amazing. He's always dropping heat, in my opinion. If you don't know who Nems is, definitely go check him out. Another artist that teased the new album is Janae Aiko. Her album is dropping. She put up a post saying BRB back with an album. I don't remember when was the last time she dropped. I know it wasn't too long ago, but Janae Aiko, I think she's one of the GOATs in R&B, in my opinion. Like every time she drops, It's always amazing. She's such an amazing artist. She was also in the news recently too, because Larry June dropped a track with her, and they're a couple now, so it had everybody talking and stuff. Another album that's coming out this week, I believe, is Erykah Badu and The Alchemist. Yeah, they're dropping on August 28th. This album, I think they teased it back a few months ago. I wasn't sure it was really happening, but I'm excited to get a new album from Erykah Badu. She's, one of the GOATs, and The Alchemist, one of the goated producers. Alchemist beats are amazing. I love when he like hops on a track and collabs with artists because his production is just completely unmatched. Then you got Anderson .Paak and Corday, Heavy as the Crown, dropping 10/23. I think this is produced by J. Cole. I think the whole thing is produced by J. Cole because I know like there were there were some things that came out that I think a few weeks ago, or maybe like I think it was last month, J. Cole, Corday, and Anderson .Paak were in the studio together. Like I think there was like a photo. So I think that'd be dope. Like whole album produced by Cole. I know they released tracks that were produced by Cole too, and they, did amazing as well. So then the next artist that's releasing new music is Don Toliver. So he's been teasing Nitrous like crazy. He's saying that it's dropping soon. Octane is possibly album of the year in my opinion, aside from the Fall Off. It's really between those two albums, but Nitrous is sounding crazy, like all the snippets that he's been putting up, everything that he's been teasing. And he's on the second leg of his tour currently too. Like Don Toliver is honestly having an amazing year, but he just doesn't miss at all. That's my opinion. I think Don just don't miss. Like and whenever he drops something, it's always heat. He's always doing his numbers. He even teased the possible Drake feature too. So I'm guessing this is gonna be on his new album, but I'm excited for it. Like I'm super excited for a new Don Toliver album. Like I said, every body of work that he drops is always a hit. And then last but not least, we have Jay-Z. This is kind of like falls a little bit more into the news portion as well, but it is what it is. You all know Jay-Z had his anniversary shows last month, with him also adding a new show in London. But for the show last month, he had a lot of artists pop out from Pharrell, Eminem, Nas, Rihanna, Tiana Taylor, Usher. Pharrell basically, let everybody know that Jay-Z pretty much has an album on the way, which I find interesting because if you remember, he did have an interview with GQ like a few months ago where they basically asked him, if there's like an album coming out or if he's working on something. He didn't really say that he doesn't want to drop a new album. He was just like very hesitant about new music, saying that his recent ideas, they were like a little too dark or like, he wasn't really interested in like going that route too much. He doesn't really know like what he wants to talk about to feel fulfilled. So hearing that and then now hearing Pharrell say that he's working on a new album, it's like, what really happened in between that? Or like maybe he was just thinking about it too much and just decided to be like, hey, let me just drop this anyway. I mean, obviously it's Jay-Z, like anything he drops is gonna do numbers. And like I said, and this Jay-Z, like he's one of the biggest rappers ever. Like and nobody's gonna be bigger than him, I think, in my opinion, to be honest. But like I said, I want to know what happened in between, like then and now. I mean, obviously, like he did do like freestyles to like talk about and take shots at like certain artists. Like when he was at the Roots picnic, he did a freestyle, spoke about Dame Dash, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and a couple other people. And then again, like there was more shots in his recent shows. But I personally and then Drake did like diss him on his Iceman album, but I personally don't think that's like the actual reason. I don't think that's enough to make him like want to drop an album, you know what I mean? Like, but then again, there was also a buildup of other people just constantly talking about him like throughout like the year, the past 2 years. So like, I don't think that was enough to actually like make him want to drop an album. I feel like something must have happened, or maybe like Pharrell's like producing it or working on it or something, and he was just like, "Yo, just drop it because it's fire." Maybe he just got out of, maybe he just stopped being in his own way. But I'm excited to get a new Jay-Z album. I'm excited to like what I think the last one was 444. That was a great album in my opinion. There was a lot of tracks there that I really enjoyed, some that I still go back and listen to now. And then he did just, have his Reasonable Doubt anniversary too. Like he just dropped all that collection at Target and stuff. I mean, I picked up a CD. I think Reasonable Doubt is obviously like one of the greatest albums ever. So I would love to get a new Jay-Z album. I honestly think that's what we need, to be honest, like just for rap in general. I would love to hear him talk about like what he thinks about, like rap right now, like where he's at mentally. Just hear him come back with like these crazy bars. Like what one of his best verses that he dropped recently was on DJ Khaled's track, what was it? God did. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. theatrics with him responding to people and like all this other stuff. I'm excited for it. I think I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. So whenever he decides to drop it within like next year or maybe even a year after, like, obviously there's no rush because, Jay-Z, he can do whatever he wants at the end of the day. So I'm here for it. Another artist that's been in the news recently is Drake. So he recently had a stream with Steak and, he did like his own version of a 20v1 where he pretty much, invited like a bunch of girls on and like asked him questions and stuff and gave him money and whatnot. Like he did like preview pretty much What Did I Miss Part 2 on his stream with Ben the Don. There was also a clip from I think a couple weeks before where one of his people basically said that he has an Iceman tour coming soon. So I'm excited for that. I would love a new Drake tour. It's All a Blur was fire. That was my first time seeing him, but I would love to just see like an whole Iceman tour. Iceman is an amazing album. For the people that say that it's not, y'all are crazy. You guys are just hating. Drake hate now is just corny. Like, y'all just be jumping on any bandwagon and just chill there for some reason, but whatever. But Iceman was a great album, front to back. I don't know what all these people are talking about. I don't know why people don't like it. Like he addressed what he needed to address. Like I said before, everybody's been talking about Drake for like what, 2 years now. And when he finally decides to talk about stuff, nobody wants to hear it. Like it's annoying. It's super annoying. You can't say, "Oh, yeah, I talk about Drake for this and that," but then when he finally drops something and addresses everything, yeah, I just want to like, you know what I mean? Like it's very biased, but it is what it is. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a new Drake tour. I still would love some Sexy Songs for You tour in the States. There was also a photo of him that went up online, have him making new music. And then he recently just teased FOMO, fear of missing out. Like it seems like it's a new album. He also placed it on top of the same table where he like, revealed his 3 albums dropping. This might be like, I'm not sure if he's independent yet. I mean, I know he fulfilled like his requirements to his contract with his label, but this might be his first album where he releases it independently. If it's actually coming out, a good time to drop it would be like the winter time, and then also, like doing his tour during the wintertime, the Iceman tour or whatever he's gonna call it, Freeze the World tour. I feel like that's probably what it's gonna be called. That would all just be smart to just do in the wintertime. It fits the theme for like everything that he's doing. Next we got Tyga. So he released Starface, man. I don't know what. Man, so Pitchfork, first of all, Pitchfork gave the album a 0. I'm not mad about that at all. Pitchfork usually rates albums like crazy. Like they just be doing albums dirty. But I feel like this kind of fits for this one because Starface was whack. It was trash. I didn't like it at all. So he faced a lot of controversy aside from that because he used the AI on the album. Everybody was really coming at him. Like I think using AI in general for artists, I think is just crazy. Doja Cat even bashed him for using AI, and then Tyga was like, "Yo, I love Doja, but she made a demonic album. But hey, listen, that album was better than whatever it is that you just dropped now." So I think this is crazy. I think that him using AI is just ridiculous. I think producers or anybody using AI is crazy when they're making music. Like AI is such a scary thing because it just affects like everything. Like AI could really just change up like any track, even if it's like old, say if it's like an older track, AI will just make it like more modern and it's gonna sound completely different. Like the track will no longer like serve the purpose that it's supposed to serve, you know what I mean? I think the only thing that AI might do that's positive is probably just affect like physical like sales, like you know what I mean? Because like if AI is really already changing like all the audio and everything online and how everything sound, like you're really gonna have to go out and just like actually find like a physical version of like a CD or like a DVD or something and like, buy it for yourself so you can actually have like whatever it is in its original form, you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know, like AI is crazy. And also like it affects how like music is gonna sound like in the next couple years too. It's gonna take away a lot of creativity from people. You, myself, or anybody else could really just go type in something into the computer like, yo, make this song like this, like that, and it's gonna do it. Anybody could just make music now. That's pretty much what it is, and they could just copy like other artists' voices and put it on a track, and it's like, damn, like that's crazy. And what sucks about it too is that like there's a lot of people who are like very creative and really put time and work in, when they make their music and are really out here trying to make it big. And all that passion, all that emotion, all those feelings that they actually put into the music and all those efforts that they're making is gonna be for nothing, and it's just not gonna be in there. It's not gonna be there no more. You know what I mean? Like there's not gonna be any more talent. Talent's not even gonna matter no more, which is crazy. So I never really thought AI in music or AI in anything in general is a good idea. Like it's really gonna like, like bounce back and give us like the biggest L ever. There's probably gonna be some labels that are probably going to, like end up signing like AI artists or whatever, which I think is crazy too. Like you're gonna just sign a robot to your label. And any other artist that's just using AI for anything is crazy. There's a lot of artists that spoke out about this too. The ones that come into my mind mostly is SZA and Kalani. I know Timbaland has an AI artist, and I'm like, yo, Timbaland is like one of the greatest producers, is one of the greatest producers, and it's just like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But enough about this AI stuff. Next thing I want to talk about is the game. So he basically just released his new album, The Documentary 3. I feel like everything that he's done around this time was really for publicity. I mean, he did have a verses recently. I feel like that's smart. He dropped this album like after the verses, he started doing his album rollout and stuff. So I think that's actually pretty good. Use all that attention from the verses and, gravitated towards your album release. He basically had an interview recently where he backed Drake. He dropped a track from the album called No Breaks with Drake, I think like a day or the night of that his album was dropping. And everybody went crazy. Everybody was like, oh my God, like he's on Drake's side. He's gonna diss Kendrick or this and that. And it's just like, bro, like chill. Like they didn't even say nothing crazy on the track. And Drake wasn't even on the song anyway. I think he just did like a couple ad libs or something. He didn't really have a verse on there. So supposedly people think that he dissed Kendrick on the documentary 3. And during an album release for his album, during his album release, the game said, nah, he ain't diss Kendrick. He showed a lot of love to Kendrick, saying that, yo, I love him, but he's like, for some reason, it's hard for me to reach him. I've done a lot for him, this and that. Even AZ tried to remove like his feature from the track, that part, because he didn't want no parts in it. And I thought that was kind of weak because I'm like, I heard the tracks that where he does mention Kendrick. I didn't listen to the album in full because when it dropped, I was like, oh shit, it dropped. And then I didn't really have enough time to actually go through the entire album. The tracks that I did hear where he does mention Kendrick or mentions Drake or anybody and or any other artist, like he didn't really take any aim at Kendrick or anything. I think people are just reading headlines and just making up stories. I didn't think it was no diss, and it doesn't even sound like a diss. So like one of the tracks is LA Monster. He references the Boogeyman and he references GNX. He says, I ain't got no problem with the Boogeyman and he ain't got no problem with me because I'm a LA monster, the game. After that, he says, I might drive the roads today. The GNX scare the hoes away because I'm a LA monster. That's not a diss. I feel like that's just a bar. Then there's another track. It's called The Pen, where the game pretty much addresses people saying that he's beefing with Kendrick. So this is a track where he just pretty much says, yo, I'm not beefing with him. So he like just tells everybody that he's not. Pretty much talks about how his pen is fire. He still got it. He makes a couple references to Dre, 50 Cent. So he literally says they say I'm beefing with Kendrick. How the fuck do that sound? So it's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like people are just really just chatting. And then the next track that where he mentions him too. I think is what on the intro track. Pretty much says Drake is his homie. This is what he says. I say Drake the homie, y'all say it's trees and want me to pick sides while y'all dick ride. When you're from the west side, you ain't gotta pick side. And then he makes another reference to GNX. I'll pop the steering column off the GNX. So it's like, it's just a bar, bro. Like people are just taking it way out of proportion. People want things to just go crazy again. I'm like, bro, like it's not even a diss. Like he's just doing this because he just dropped an album. He's just mentioning them because he'll know it'll attract attention to his album and it'll just get him more streams, get him more downloads, people will buy more stuff, you know what I mean? Like, but he ain't saying nothing crazy. It's really all just for promotion. And then the last thing that I just want to recap on is pretty much me going to the Fall Off tour. Like that was one of the best experiences I had in my life. That was like a bucket list thing, to be honest, because I've been wanting to see Cole for a minute. So me being able to go see him earlier this month in August was one of the best things ever. As a rap fan and as a J. Cole fan, that was one of the best hip hop rap concerts I've ever been to. Like this man, his performances was amazing, bro. No backtrack, no change for his wardrobe, no set changes, nothing. Just straight 2 hours of him just rapping back to back and giving like amazing speeches of how and why he made these songs. He's funny as fuck too, because he was on stage, saying some stuff. And like I remember when he said, "Yo, I got 2 songs left." Everybody booed him. He was like, "Damn, I know it's out of love, but that still hurts my feelings." And then he repeated himself again. He was like, "I got 2 more songs left," and everybody started cheering him on. He's like, "That sounds better." But he's a really funny guy. But he like faked us out like twice. I was like, "All right, cool." But man, just it's just like the energy. Like as soon as he came out, like the energy was just amazing. Like he came out to 39 intro, like I said before. And it was just a vibe, man. Like that gave me like that was the first time I ever got goosebumps at a concert. I was like, yo, this is fire. Like the energy is amazing. Walked around, dap people up, we hit the stage, and then like it was amazing, bro. Every song, like I was singing every song word for word, bar for bar. Even when he picked somebody to do Johnny P's Caddy, like I was like, yo, in my head I'm like, pick me, but then I'm like, nah. I wanted to get picked so bad, but I was like, nah. I went to the show in Brooklyn. So I think he picked somebody that was there for like all the nights that he was in Brooklyn. The merch lines was crazy too. Like I had to like I couldn't find the main table where they sold all the shirts. And then when I got there, like I'm like, damn, like I really wanted that let out shirt and I'm happy I've got it. They like sold out in the smaller sizes and then they ended up having my size too. So I was like, oh word, like that's fire. But yeah, man, the performances was amazing. The openers was cool. He had Boss and then he had I forgot the girl's name, but she was featured on one of his tracks. I think it was Peach or something. I don't remember. But she was amazing too. The DJ they had there was cool too. But just the ambiance itself and everything, like it was fire. Like it was such a beautiful experience. And honestly, like if you have the chance to go, please go. I think his tour ends in September. So if he's coming to like a city near you, within the next month, just go. Like it's an amazing experience. Like I don't know why people aren't talking about this tour more. I don't know. I feel like people aren't talking about it as much. Like it's, an amazing experience. You got one of the goats out here touring, doing his thing. Like I'm just happy I got this too, bro. My towel right here. Yo, the fall off towel. Look at that. It's beautiful, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, it is a little cheap though. Like but it does like peel off, come off a little bit. But listen, bro, I'm telling you, man, one of the best experiences ever. Please go, please attend. Like, if you got the money for it, do it. Man, put that on a payment plan if you need to, but definitely go if you're a fan of Cole and if you love rap and if he's one of the artists that you listen to, like definitely check it out. But I think that's about it for this episode. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy I made this. But I hope you guys are all enjoying y'all summer. Hope you guys are all enjoying. If you're on summer break, hope you're enjoying that. Hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful weather. Hope you guys are all safe with everything that's going on. But like I said earlier, like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media, TikTok and Instagram, show me some love. But I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.